America is once again planning to ask its allies in NATO to send thousands more troops to Afghanistan to train the country's new army and police force. Defense ministers from member nations of the alliance are meeting in the Turkish city of Istanbul. The US wants around 4,000 troops on top of the 9,000 already pledged from NATO nations. America is sending 30,000 extra combat troops of its own. It comes as NATO plans its biggest offensive in southern Afghanistan since entering 8 years ago. And as RT's Paula Sleer reports, it's another sign that military operations will continue for some time yet.
Foreign forces are beginning to land here in the Kandahar Air Force Base. This is the main hub of military operations and technical support for foreign forces operating in southern Afghanistan. For the last 5 days, the US Marine Corps has been dropping leaflets of their intention to launch a major assault soon. The Afghan Defense Ministry says its security forces will lead the push, making it the largest operation in southern Afghanistan since the 2001 US-led invasion. Now, it's not yet clear exactly what percentage of new recruits will eventually be based in Kandahar, but certainly what is clear is that the largest percentage of the tens of thousands of troops requested by General McChrystal will in fact be operating from here. Now, depending on whom you speak to, there are already between 20 and 30,000 personnel based in this camp. The majority of them are backup to the fighting units, so you'll find here doctors, mechanics, engineers, technical support people. In fact, Kandahar camp is almost like a little city. When you walk along, you'll see the boardwalk. Here you have a number of souvenir shops that sell local Afghan wares. You have restaurants, you have shops that sell food items and clothing from various countries around the world. The camp itself is divided into the various contingents who are represented here. So you'll have, for example, the Dutch corner, the American corner, the Canadian corner. We are 13 kilometers from Kandahar city, which is the second largest city in Afghanistan after the capital Kabul. There are some 300,000 people who live there. Kandahar is the birthplace of the Taliban movement, and incidentally it's also the birthplace of the current Afghan president Hamid Karzai. What this means is that Kandahar is not only of strategic importance to the Taliban, but it is of great symbolic value. Now, until now, the province has been in the hands of the Canadian NATO contingent, but the plan now is that by 2011 they will hand over control to the Americans. The Canadians until now have suffered the third highest number of casualties after the Americans and the British. Foreign forces have been criticized for not prioritizing this province enough. In fact, recent military reports suggest that while the Taliban in this area have been disrupted, they have not been neutralized. So presumably when the new American troops arrive, many of their attention will be focused on securing this area, but certainly one of their priorities will have to be in convincing the local population that more troops being deployed is a good thing, because for many Afghans, in fact the majority of them, they make a very simple equation. More troops equals more suicide bombings equals more roadside attacks. So while the foreign forces will be focused on convincing the local population, they'll also have to heed with the deadline given by President Barack Obama, in which he said that by July 2011 he will begin withdrawing his troops. But when you look around here, it certainly doesn't seem as if American or foreign military involvement in Afghanistan will end anytime soon. Paula Sleer, RT, Kandahar Air Force Base.